We're going to look at one special type of perimeter, and it is called a circumference. What shape are we talking about? Well, the word circumference kind of gives it away, really, because if you were to look at how this is spelt, you can see that it's got C-I-R-C, circ, and whenever you see circ, circumnavigation, means to go around. So it is dealing with a shape that we know all too well called the circle. So what do we need to know about finding the circumference? Okay, well, we need to know that we need to use an equation. And you guys have all done this equation in class, so it shouldn't be a problem. It's the equation you need to remember is C equals 2 pi r, which is circumference, okay, which is this word here, is equal to 2 times pi, you use the pi button on your calculator, times r. Now we all remember this constant pi, or hopefully we do. This is a special number, and it goes on forever and ever. It's irrational. It doesn't repeat itself. There's some amazing people that have learned it to millions of places, and well, not millions, but a lot of places. And this is really equal to the circumference divided by the diameter. Okay, and let's talk about some of those things like circumference and diameter. So if I was to draw a circle, I'll draw it right here. Okay, and there's the center of our circle. A circumference is the distance around the circle, so it's just like a perimeter. The diameter is the line that goes directly through the center. Okay, it's the longest distance you can possibly take to walk across a circle. So you'll know you're on the diameter when you can't get any further distance when you're walking across this circle. Okay, you've also got a radius, so that is this is a diameter, the distance across the circle. You've also got a radius, which is half the distance. Okay, so that's your radius here. Pretty simple so far. And then they've got some other things that you need to know, like chords and segments and whatnot, but let's not worry about that for today. Let's just do our equation 2 pi r. And you also know, obviously, that if you've got two radiuses added together, if you add this radius here on as well, that you get a diameter. So circumference can also be written as C equals pi times the diameter. So if you're ever given a question with a radius in it to work out our circumference, you can use C equals 2 pi r. And if you're given a question where they use a diameter, you can use pi d. Anyway, let's do some questions. Unfortunately, Mr. Komonos hasn't brought his calculator along today, so he's probably going to have to jump on another calculator, probably on the computer maybe. I'm going to see if I can find a calculator. So just bear with me for 1 second. Hopefully I can find a calculator, a scientific one. Well, let's hope. So we'll just get our calculator ready. Good. I've got a calculator here, and it has a nice little pi button on it. So I'm going to use this calculator to do these calculations. You probably can't see it because I'm not on screenshot, but trust me, I have a trusty calculator. So first of all, I'm going to do a question that involves a radius. So let's do it over here. I'm going to draw my circle, and they might say, find the circumference of the following circle with a radius, because we're only going from the center to the outside, to the perimeter of it. We've got 18 meters, okay? And we're going to work out our circumference. And just like a perimeter, our circumference our answer is going to be in meters, not in meters squared, because we're not dealing with an area. So what I'm going to need to do is, I can't use the C equals pi d, because I've got a radius. Now I could double that value if I wanted to, and just say pi times 2 times 18, and that's okay to do, but I'm going to use the other formula, C equals 2 pi r, and that's going to be is equal to 2 times the pi times the 18, because the radius is 18 meters. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, so I'm going to jump on my calculator, and I'm going to say 2 times pi times and then I just get my 18, and that is equal to, it's 113. So C, circumference, is equal to 113.097. So let's just do it to one decimal place. So it's 0.09. Okay, so if we're doing it at one decimal place, our critical digit's the second digit, and if it's 5 or more, we're going to round that up. So our answer would be 113.1 meters. Okay, C equals 113.1 meters. That's a really good thing to do. Make sure that people can see your answer. Okay, so that's a question dealing with circumference when we've got a radius. If you were given the same question or a similar question where you had a circle, we'll draw our circle, and instead of giving you a radius, they give you a diameter of 4 meters. Okay, so now we can use the equation C equals pi d. We could say 2 pi r and just halve this if we wanted, but let's use the formula that's easiest to use. So C equals pi times d, so C is equal to pi times 4, okay? 4 times pi, let's jump on our trusty calculator here. 4 times pi equals 12.566. So 12.566, we're going to do it to one decimal place. This value is a 6, which means it's 5 or higher. So we're going to round our 5 up to a 6. So it's 12.6 meters. Okay, so C is equal to 12.6 meters. Pretty simple. Both answers to one decimal place. One quick thing about pi, you will sometimes see it as written as an approximation of pi, and that little symbol there is approximate. And you'll see it written as 22/7 sometimes, and you'll sometimes also see pi approximately equal to 3.14, because that's the first two digits of pi. Both of those will work reasonably well, but they're not 100% accurate. And they'll sometimes ask you to use those approximations in a question, but more often than not, you're just going to jump on your calculator and you'll look for the button that says pi. Okay, if you have any problems finding that button, I would have loved to have done a demonstration, but naughty Mr. Commonos has forgot his calculator. We have used it before. If you have trouble finding that button, first thing you need to do after you watch this video is come and see me, and I will show you where that button is. Anyway, I'm hoping that's of some assistance, and we'll go on to the next bit of work. Only thing you need to remember too also is that there's two equations. There's an equation for the circumference of a circle, and then there's another equation for the area of a circle. And quite often what happens is people confuse those two equations. Okay, the area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. Okay, do not get pi r squared, the area, confused with the circumference, which is either pi d or 2 pi r. They sound very similar. If you get them confused, you will get the wrong answer. So please remember, when you're doing the circumference of a circle, it is 2 pi r or pi d, and your answer will not be a squared. Obviously, it's a perimeter. It'll just be either centimeters or meters or whatever the units you're dealing with are. And of course, remember also that whenever you're dealing with complex shapes, you need to make sure all of your units are the same before you write your answer down. Anyway, that's it for circles. I hope that's of some assistance to you. Make sure you jump into the relevant exercises on the circumference of a circle. It's 3B. It's exercise 3B, and it's on page 127 of your textbook. Give that a try. Give a few of those questions a try. If the questions make sense to you and you're getting them 100% correct, you know you understand the concept. You should go and practice something that you're not so good at. Anyway, that's me on circles. Hope that's of some assistance. And